German, right? I lived most of my life in Germany, and let's start with the educational background, right? Because that's where your life starts. The funny thing is, I never went to university. In German, you have apprenticeship. So I was taught on the job to become a forwarding agent. So in a trucking company, right, organizing, making sure that trucks are delivering from A to B. And that was my original education. And when it comes to my profession, I have done all kind of jobs in my life. I worked as a quality technician. I worked in a trucking company, in a moving company, moving people's good from left to right. Then I worked in logistics and also in IT. So IT was my longest profession. So I worked for 15 years in IT. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about my profession. I lived in Germany, and my Nokia path started from a 4 days assignment as a temp. So I was a temporary worker, right? I was sent into the office just to help them in a really, really difficult situation where they needed workforce. And the fun thing was I didn't speak English at the time. So I didn't even understood really. I didn't know what was an invoice or an order confirmation. So I just worked there but I think some of my colleagues, later colleagues, really saw my passion in my eyes. So they really wanted desperately me to start in Nokia, but I never applied for a job in Nokia because I didn't understood the job description. So fast forward half a years later, someone kind of knocked on my private door and said, please, Verena, can you apply for a job? We can't give you a job unless you apply. So that's how I started in Nokia. Then I worked in logistics, I worked in IT. In total, I worked 15 years in IT. I was in second tier support in IT. I was a deployment manager. I was a line manager for 1 year for a very international team all over Europe. And my last 7 years in Nokia, I was the global process manager for incident management. So wherever in the world a laptop or a server went down, it was my favorite process who dealt with that situation. That started in 2011. Some of you might remember the situation in 2011. I think something was smelling, right? There was a burning platform running around the world. And at that time, many people, especially in IT, lost their jobs. And I was one of the very few people, my location in Düsseldorf, or better Ratingen at the time, was closed. And I was, I think, the only person who got an offer to move to Finland to continue work for Nokia. And some people say I'm crazy because I accepted the offer and moved to Finland, but I'm super happy to be here. And I usually say, sorry, Finns, now you have me. I'm not planning to go anywhere. It was not so much that I left Nokia, but I usually say Microsoft kind of found its way into my CV, right? I did not apply for Microsoft, but when Microsoft bought a Nokia mobile phone, right, that is when my Nokia time ended. That was, if I remember right, 2014. So then I still worked for Microsoft, but in a way, since then, I'm not officially not a Nokia employee anymore. So I think in total, it was from 1997 until Microsoft. So we are talking about 17 years Nokia. You asked about what is beyond Nokia. Right, I told you earlier in 2011, right? I thought, together with thousands of other people around the world, my Nokia journey ended. So my closest work colleague at the time was based in Australia. And we both were clear we are losing our jobs and right, our Nokia time is over. But from Düsseldorf to Australia, right, if you work very closely together, that's a very special challenge, right? Because you pretty much chat the whole time, right? You bridge the half of the world. And so we realized our kind of virtual coffee breaks will soon end. So we decided we start a Facebook group called Beyond Nokia. And it really started only with her and me. And I'm usually the one who's connecting. I remember everyone. So I would immediately invite everyone who became my Facebook friend through my work at Nokia. And so the rest is a bit of history. Today, Beyond Nokia, which is a closed group for everyone, former Nokia or current Nokia, has over 25,000 members. But I mean, if let's say, right, to give a bit more context of what happened between right two women starting this group and today. So what happened is that right the group really very slowly grew over 5 years, right? So from 2011 to 2016, right, we were still by mid of October 2016, we were a bit under 1,000 members, right? And because I'm such a kind of engaging person, right, I posted there one message. I said, come on, guys, right? There are so many more people who qualify for this group. Give me at least 48 new members until end of 2016. I want to be 1,000 members. And that message went viral around the world. And pretty much the group took over my life because every time, right, we would, because we approved individuals to be verified with LinkedIn or any other means if someone really has a Nokia in history. So every time we approved a new member, about 50, 100, 200 new members popped up in the queue. So I was like, oh my goodness, right? I mean, I have nothing else to do than just verifying. And then after a couple of days, we decided between Australia and me, right, Elsie in Australia and me. So we decided that we trust the people in the group. People in the group, if they know, okay, we will only add people who used to work at Nokia or currently work there. And so we opened up and the group was by end of the year over 25,000 members. I have to say, my own connection with the Oulu office of Nokia is very, very limited, but I have definitely seen what happened here around Helsinki. And so what happened was, and it's really, really beautiful how many ex-Nokians really came up with their own creative ideas, what to do to start with startups. And what I really like, because the whole bridge program, which was kind of the Nokia system, right, when they had to lay off people, where they offered also to really, for example, take benefit of some licenses, right? So Nokia really supported that a lot. So I've seen a lot of startups starting. And for example, when Microsoft started with doing the same, right? They, for example, opened here Microsoft Flux, a space where really startups with an ex-Nokia background, right, found a place to go, right, have events and really just work in a very creative kind of startup scene. And because I'm usually quite connected, so I know a lot of startups which have kind of ex-Nokians. And I think it's amazing, right? I really love it. And I think that in general, right, I've also seen sometimes the effect of where people say, come on, all your Nokians, right? Don't tell me, you know how to do it better, right? But I think a lot of Nokians, ex-Nokians, really have seen the good and the bad. So they can really kind of, apply the good things, what they learned in Nokia, but also avoid the pitfalls of, where things perhaps really went wrong on the Nokia side. So therefore, I would say, and an interesting fact from the Bridge program, because what I learned along the way is that the Nokia invented Bridge program was adopted on EU level as really one of the really role model of how to treat kind of people you have to let go in the best possible way. I mean, there are different elements to the question. So let's first start with the boring stuff, right? And then let's go to the chocolate angel part. I mean, for my day job, right, I'm currently working for Kalmar, which belongs to the Cargotec holding, right? I'm a deployment manager, so that means I work with kind of between IT and business, right? Business always wants new digital kind of solutions to help their teams, and then you have IT, and you need someone who translates between those two sides, right? One just knows the business side and one just knows the IT side. And that usually, if they speak with each other, they need a translator. So I'm the translator, and I work with 17 countries around the world, helping to deploy and train teams. That is the boring part. You asked me why people know me as a chocolate angel. Okay, should we give you a proper chocolate angel moment? So this is why people know me as a chocolate angel. But let me tell you a bit the story about it, because I'm so sorry. Let's say when I started what I do as a chocolate angel, right, that was not 21 years ago. About 13, 14 years ago, right, I would already travel quite often to Espoo for work, right? I was based in Germany, but I worked with a lot of people in Finland. So on every trip to Finland, I would buy a couple of boxes of chocolate and started walking around the office in the morning, right, and went to every single desk, everyone where I saw someone, right, I walked up to them, smiled, and offered them a chocolate box. And that became a beautiful habit, right? And it's really the nice trigger is, right, duty free, Düsseldorf airport, arriving in Espoo, right, Karaporti office or Karakari, right, walking around the office. When the box was empty, I started working process management, or I was involved in Nokia Online, the largest B2B platform in the world at the time, right? So, and fun side, I never did it when I came back to Düsseldorf. I'm sorry, Düsseldorf, if you're watching, I'm sorry, I never did it for you. But when I moved here to Finland in 2012, because in 2012 I finally arrived here, I realized the trigger was missing. But it has a beautiful kind of effect when I walk around the office, because it's not just nice for you that I see you, right? I give you I disrupt you in the middle of your workday, right? Just with a smile and an offer of chocolate. But it's also a beautiful way for me to, when I'm stressed, other people, right, they smoke and say, I need a smoke break. It's so stressful. When I'm stressed at work, right, I take my box, I walk around the office, give it 10, 15 minutes, right, 50 people happy, and I'm emotionally balanced. And let's say about 2016, I decided, right, who cares about the work world, right, the proper corporate work world? I start my own business, which I have done. It's Chocolate Angel OÜ. And so beside of my day job, right, people can really book me as a chocolate angel. I travel to an event or into an office. I walk around the whole space in 1 hour, up to 200 people smile, and it's an unforgettable moment. It's one thing which people 10 years later still remember, that crazy women walking up to you, right, with a big smile and a box full of chocolate. That's what I do as a chocolate angel. What a startup even is. Being startup has a certain definition. So I was glad when I realized I'm not a startup. I'm a proper business. Not making profit, but I'm a business. I'm not a startup.